we talk about birds that you might find in your backyard here in Alberta. Joining me is my co-host and fellow bird enthusiast, Kelly. Why don't you come on out, Kelly?
I will, thank you.
So, Kelly, I wanted to ask you actually, how do you feel about the debate that's going on right now about whether or not the term woodpecker is misogynistic and outdated and patriarchal and should be changed?
I have honestly been off the internet for like a whole week. Can you catch me up on that one? What are the stances here?
Yeah, so basically there's the side that's, very traditional and thinks that, that's what it's always been called and it wasn't based in anything. There definitely wasn't any sort of like phallic imagery intended. And that's all just new wave stuff. And then there's the other side, of course, which is saying that, it's a very gendered term. It's basically catering directly to men, and it's reinforcing the patriarchy.
Well, this is what I'm confused about is the implication of woodpecker that the person is pecking with their wood? Because that's what I hear from what you're saying. But I believe like the bird pecks the wood, and really like that's a very inclusive term because like anybody can peck wood regardless of like gender identity, like biological sex orientation. Like if you want to get out there, you can do it right on the porch.
Right, and that's a fair viewpoint. I think we would have to look into the etymology of the word. So yeah, maybe we need to do a little bit more research into that before we come up with some hard opinions on it. But thanks for engaging me with me on that. I think it's an important discussion to have.
Absolutely, and I think that I've been excited all week to talk to you about birds on our porches. And yeah, why don't you rattle off what your favorite for this week? Your favorite bird of Alberta.
I'm definitely more of a grosbeak person, but I think you're more of a hummingbird kind of guy, if I'm not mistaken.
Like, is that how we pronounce it? I always thought it was like grosbeak, like it's kind of half French.
That's kind of mean to the birds, to just call their beaks gross like that. But it's, I guess if that's how you want to pronounce it.
Well, I mean, in that case, I feel like it was a different time. But I do agree that the grosbeak is more of a dated term. I'm more concerned about the term grosbeak than woodpecker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a fair point. I think, you could also interpret it as grow-speak, as in you're like constantly moving forward in your naming of birds. You're growing your vocabulary. You're moving the way you speak forward in order to be more inclusive. So I think there's a lesson we can all learn there.
Oh, it's like grosbeak.
Exactly, grows speak.
Oh, grown our speak. Yeah, you know what? I'm into that. Mm-hmm. So like when I go down next week to like the aviary and I'm like, yeah, I love those grosbeaks. They'll be like, this guy's way ahead of the curve.
Mm-hmm. Very woke.
Yeah, that's killer. I'm into it.
Mm-hmm. So did you have anything you wanted to talk about today before we introduce our guest?
I did. And I really, after having a conversation with our unseen but all-seeing producer, who basically told me that there were absolutely no limits in what we could talk about, I thought, well, we're going to absolutely hit the ground running. So I wanted to talk about something that's been on my mind for the last couple of days. And I think there's no better time to discuss it than like here in a store full of, nerd shit, which I have my opinions on. But like, you watch Star Trek, right?
Yeah, I've seen a few episodes here and there.
And you've got all these like half Vulcans, half Klingons, all that, right? And there's the discourse I think has been done to death on like whether you really could have like a different species that like is breedable or even fuckable to a human. But like my question is, do we want the aliens to be fuckable? Like I'm talking about our world. First contact happens next week. They show up in their big ass ship and they come down. Like, how do we feel about whether we would even feel good about them coming out and being just like hot, absolutely stacked, dump truck asses, you name it?
Yeah, I mean, like, I think that that's a very that's kind of a narrow-minded view of what fuckable is, because if you've ever watched any tentacle hentai, you'll know that they don't even have to be humanoid in order to be fuckable. So I don't know. So you're worried, your question is whether or not we should want to fuck aliens?
Like, my question is if they are like desirable is one thing, but I guess the real question is if it's like mechanically possible, do we like do we want to invite the opening of that Pandora's box once it's like our sexual politics are already complicated enough? Do we want an entire new species in this dynamic when there's so like we haven't even figured out the woodpecker situation, and now we're like bringing in like I don't know these totally different species, right? Like for one thing, like you know you've got your human partner who is like watching the show right now. You've got a thing together. Aliens come down, and you're like one of them comes and immediately starts hitting on you. Like, is it cheating?
Is it cheating if an alien hits on you?
Well, I mean, if you fuck the alien.
Well, I mean, I think that's like important for like relationship dynamics in general, is open communication and stuff. But like, are you saying that because the aliens aren't human, is that like one of those caveats? Like if you're in a different zip code or whatever?
Yeah, like you could make the argument, you're like, hey, you know what? These are like silicone-based life forms. It's basically a flashlight. Like it's not even a, you can get into some weird ethics thing, and I don't know if we're ready for that as like a human species right now.
Yeah, we might not be ready for it, but I think it's important to start this conversation now, because now, like after the show, I'm definitely gonna go downstairs. I'm gonna talk to my SO, and I'm gonna be like, hey, in this scenario, would you be open to me fucking an alien? Or more importantly, would you fuck an alien with me? Like it's important to have this discourse before it happens, kind of like in real relationships, or in like, in real scenarios, I should say. It's important to have that discourse beforehand. So I think, I don't know if we're ready for it, but I think opening this up now in the way that you are is really going to be the first step in preparing us for it.
So you're in favor of opening us up?
Absolutely, literally and figuratively.
All right. Well, in the spirit of opening up, should we open up the discussion to our guest this week?
Nicely done. Yeah, absolutely.
I know. Wait, let's actually, can I hear you say that again? Because I feel like I don't get those compliments.
No, it's on record. It's recording. You can go back and listen to it if you need to jerk off to it later.
All right. David, can I get a timestamp on Nicole's compliment? Oh, he can't answer because...
No, you got it, Kelly. I'm all over it.
I love that he's now the booming voice of like an almighty creator. Like, I don't think we want to get rid of that echo effect.
Yeah, absolutely not. I've always thought of him as like the all-seeing, all-knowing kind of force in our lives here. So I appreciate the audio collaboration with that idea.
Thanks, Nicole. I'm going to timestamp that compliment as well.
All right. So getting back to the matter at hand, whose job is it to introduce the guest?
Oh, we have to introduce the guest now?
Yeah.
We can, okay.
Don't worry, I'm all over it. So
I was kind of hoping they would just do it themselves, but.
Our guest this evening is, I really wanted to, for our first guest, pick someone that was going to be like really emblematic, really fundamental to what we do. We want this to be a community show. We want it to have purpose. We want to like make a difference in the world. So I say, who better to have than somebody who plays video games on the internet. So, yeah, why don't you come on out? Our friend Patty, aka Private Eye Magpie.
Wow.
So if I can go back to your Private Eye Magpie nickname for a second there, does that mean that you would have a perspective or an opinion on these bird debates, these hot bird debate topics that we've been discussing?
I don't know. It all depends, right? Like I'm just a humble little magpie, so it's hard to speak for everyone else. We just kind of focus on getting our berries, warm rye bread, and sometimes magpies do kill other birds' children, but like it's part of the natural world. But we kind of stick out of it because we're busy doing our own thing, always scavenging and stuff, right? So we're not entirely in the discourse because we can't even understand the discourse. I think it's the big thing.
Okay.
Sorry, and was that magpies are killing other birds, like apostrophe children, or magpies are killing other birds, comma, children, like as part of a list?
No, I think it's just other birds. Magpies will definitely do that. They
Okay,
don't-
it's not human children.
No,
Okay.
no, that's too big of a meal for most magpies. So I think just the baby chicks is usually what magpies go for.
All right. So having that covered, let's put you in a human perspective for now, because I'm afraid to even drag magpies into this.
Yeah, me too.
But you're out in a field, maybe a cornfield. You're looking at all of the like weird ass crop circles. You're trying to figure it out. And just as you seem to like actually crack the code of what the message is, big tunnel of light comes down from the sky, and down comes, let's say, like a being of pure light just floating there.
Right.
And you're like, you just react. You don't have time to filter. You're just like, wow, you're so incorporeal. And the alien immediately reassures you in the language you speak, like, no, listen, we can totally still fuck. Like,
Well, what?
WYD.
What do I do? Being of light. So like pretty incandescent. So like a light bulb, or would it be like a light? Wouldn't that burn?
No, not heat, just light. Like these,
Not
they don't
heat.
have the same like efficiency problems.
They're LED
don't know.
aliens.
Wait, what?
This is amazing luxury service. You want me to eat the mic? Is that better?
You could do like ASMR sounds when it gets that close. You just tap the mic and you're going big. I lost track of what we were talking about.
You and the aliens, are you doing it?
Are we doing it? No. I just like, as like a moral principle, don't believe in sex. I'm not sure what it is, but okay, I'm looking at the director. Okay. And he's gone. Now he's telling the camera. Okay.
Sorry, Patty, that's the producer. He'll get very upset if you call him a director.
Oh, sorry.
He had a
producer.
bad experience as a child with the director.
Oh, that's awful. Most of us do, being around directors.
This is true.
Yeah. Anyways, being of light, intercourse with it. I'd have to like politely decline. Like I'm trying to piece it together, all the crop circles, they come down, let's fuck. I'd decline. I'd be like too anxious. I'd be like, am I going to dissociate? Am I going to go too fast? Should I, like, am I the plug in, or are they the plug in? Do they plug into me? Do I plug into them? Do we do it simultaneous? There's so many questions I have that like I'd need a relationship first.
I think they kind of dissociate into your consciousness.
That's what I'm thinking, right? And I do the same thing. Like I dissociate into my own consciousness. So it's got me thinking like maybe we would vibe on that, but does that have to be inherently sexual? I don't know, That's a good question, but like incandescent light wants to fuck, definitely gonna ruminate on that a bit more and let that settle, because that's a big question I think for most of us.
But if something more humanoid comes down and like it checks up with your mom, are you calling it dad now, or like are you being like, this is different, this isn't a person? Like is that racist towards the aliens?
Well, no, I don't know. Like I don't know any aliens, so for the parameters of I don't even know if aliens would like recognize race and gender. They could literally just be like a form of corporeal stardust. Like I don't make the rules. But if a being came down and was with my mom, and then I had a new alien dad, if the alien was like, I'm a dad, I guess I would like have to respect that understanding of their identity. And I guess it kind of works in our understanding of what a dad is. So like I'd have to be like, yeah, you're my alien dad now, and like, that's the way it works. And but if like they just were with my mom, and then like I would have to inference my own label on that, I probably would abstain from that. I'd probably be like, okay, you're just like my mom's new friend, and that's fine. I think I'm cool with that.
So if I can read between the lines of what you're saying, because the initial question is, do we want the aliens to be fuckable? And what I hear from you is like, this creates a lot of like, all these situations are kind of creating uncertainty and anxiety.
Yeah.
So are you kind of with me where it's like, maybe we don't want this?
I think maybe it shouldn't be our first point of contact with the aliens. I think like maybe we should find out everything else before we badoink. And if we do get down to badoinking, like that's cool if we get there. But like Is it the first thing we do? I don't know. It's usually a bad option. I'm not going to say personally it's been a bad option, but personally it's been a bad option. So I'd assume the same maybe with the aliens. Yeah.
All right. Well, I mean, I've heard what I need to hear in any discussion, which is somebody kind of just flatly telling me I'm correct. So I don't know. Nicole, do you have anything you want to add, or?
No, I think you about covered it. I mean, as far as the, an alien having sex with your mom thing, it definitely didn't really work out for Chris Pratt in that one movie. But that's that's also our human interpretation of how aliens might be. I think we need to leave room for aliens to come in and change our minds on the subject.
For the
Yeah, I think
thousands
that's
of
true.
nerds that are screaming out, that one movie is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Oh,
See, but the great thing about the nerds screaming in this context is they
Can't hear them?
don't have microphones, so it's like it's fine.
we should give them a microphone. I feel like things would just be a lot better if we let people scream. I feel like that's really put things forward.
I was a little bit disappointed when we moved it to the Twitch platform because now I can't see people heckling us, which is
That's
where
true,
I get most
yeah.
of my energy for the show. But we'll soldier on.
All right, we're gonna what on?
Soldier?
Sure.
phrase,
Let's
soldier
let's
Soldier on?
soldier on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're definitely gonna soldier on. So this is the point, Patty, at which we would, interview you, being the good interviewers that we are. One small snag is that life being what it is, David's running a store, I'm whacking things with a hammer.
Yeah.
We haven't quite gotten through all of our production checklist yet.
Right.
So I'm wondering if maybe you can give us a hand with that.
Yeah, sure. Like I can like lift things up and put them somewhere else. Like I've definitely done that in a production for sure. So
Right.
like, if you need me to put something somewhere else than where like it was originally, like that's a big asset I have.
I'll make a note of that.
Okay, thanks.
Patty I'll write the rest later.
Yeah,
So-
yeah, no, totally. Yeah. You got most of it there anyways. So that's
While
it.
you're lifting things up and moving them somewhere else, can you lift up our understanding of how to run a show and move it to a place that's closer to how to actually run a show?
Yeah. So like I have zero experience in doing that, but like I do have a modicum of confidence that I could do it. So, experience is just, waiting to happen. So I'm sure if we just keep banging our heads against the wall, eventually something resembling a show will get there. So I'm feeling like a big level of confidence with that. Still no experience though, just as a heads up.
If we could just push pause on this riveting discussion, I'd like to go back to the Badonky Doink at some point. But we've had a couple of questions from the audience. Just a little host pre-production meeting. Maybe an intro into what Born Under Punches actually is.
So you want an explanation?
Birds under porches, right?
If you could just give a quick overview what Birds on Porches actually is for those of the people that haven't been in any of the pre-live stream modes. Nobody really knows what we're watching right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the way we like it. So Born Under Punches, which this week has been retitled as Birds on Porches?
Under, I think.
Birds
Nicole?
on your porches, but
Birds on Your Porches.
as you will.
Birds. Yeah.
Is a local live quasi improv show where we're going to interview local luminaries from the community, such as Patty here, get a sense of who they are, perform a series of extremely dumb bits with them, and then get them to play an extremely stripped down tabletop role-playing game, which to me is a great jumping off point to maybe bring out our game master.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we got one of those today.
So Braden, do you want to come out?
I think we need production to come zoom out the camera. Just snuck behind me, but we're gonna get a nice zoom out, and there's gonna be two of us
Oh, he
sitting
knows.
across from each other.
He's already all over it. He was
Oh, here we
halfway
go.
across the room.
Yeah, I know. I could barely see it.
Oh,
As,
there I am. Hello.
wow.
Absolutely. How you
Fuck
doing,
the
Braden?
aliens, you cowards.
No,
Hmm.
that's the hot take. I don't want to
Embrace change. I think it would do nothing but add some much needed pizzazz to our lives. I am already mediocre and disappointing my current partner. Think about all the species out in the galaxy that I could disappoint now.
That's
Are you not worried that maybe like an STI that's benign to them is like absolutely lethal to us, for example?
We're already dealing with it. I'm good.
I feel like the finding out that there's an existence of like multitudes of other alien species just like really drives home the nihilism and makes it feel like if I die from an alien STI, I die from an alien STI, and that's just not a big deal in the vastness of the universe.
I would happily put myself down as the person to make that discovery to save everyone else, and also go down in history as the person that had sex with the Glorthions from Astro 5, for all that was worth.
Just to clarify, do you mean literally go down in history?
You got to make your shot where you can. That's what Eminem taught me from 2001. I can't even remember when that movie came out.
Sounds right.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I don't want to drop it. We're good.
Does the producer want to clarify what that movie from 2001 is?
That would be the semi-autobiographical movie 8 Mile, starring Eminem and Mackay Pfeiffer.
Wow, that was good. Yeah,
Thanks.
that's the one.
It's like our living IMDb machine.
So David, did we answer the question successfully?
Do they know what birds over porches is now?
Let's just pretend that we did and move on.
Did we have more questions from the chat we need to answer?
Yeah, we could do that.
Mhm.
The audience is encouraged to heckle.
I think
Yeah.
the most recurring question that we've been getting is why isn't David getting more screen time? I've had that come in probably 4 or 5 different places: Twitter, Instagram, a lot of clamoring on Reddit.
This is what I've been saying for years, but the David you get behind the scenes is different from the one you get kind of like smiling in person in the store. Like he was throwing chairs when we were getting set up here and like screaming that he knew what he was doing. And like, yeah, I don't even know. We don't even have dice mics. Like anyway,
That's how you knew this with the production.
how are they going to hear my dice hitting with there's no mic? They probably didn't hear that at all.
Oh, okay. Oh, I've just managed to
throw my
catch my
dice?
die from slipping onto the floor. We're professional around here.
The moment's passed. I'm not going to throw mine. Everyone else. I
We
waited
did
too long.
have one question that I'm kind of hesitant to ask. One of our Twitch watchers asked, is that the same person just duplicated? I think in reference to Patty and Braden.
Yeah, well, we're just like slight variations in clone technology. Like I don't know. It's a little rude of you to just flat out ask that. Like I'm not going to make a big deal about it. Like
No, it's okay, Beta Branch. I'll take over.
Okay. Thanks.
Just like different paths in life eventually converge to the same table at an amateur production of improvised D&D. There's only so much variance you can get with the same template.
Mhm.
Eventually, it just all comes full circle.
Yeah. So
And honestly, I'm just sitting here going like, that's a kick-ass shade of pink. I should get that shirt.
oh yeah, it's my Godzilla shirt. I picked it up recently. I really like it. I showed it off to everyone that I meet, except I didn't really bring it up until now. But thank you.
No worries.
Yeah.
No worries, Beta Branch.
I have to say, David, can we take this down as a production mode? I love this format where the GM just interviews the guest for us, and so me and Nicole can, I don't know, just like.
Whoa! You don't have to knock over the sanitizer. You can.
I fixed the sanitizer.
Okay, thank you. That's my big concern. Now we're
all
fine.
about streamlining here.
Okay. Yeah.
Just converge everything into one conversation. And this is the role-playing game, actually.
Yeah.
We're in the middle of it now. We're not rolling any dice because that's just how next level we are
Yeah.
at our understanding of storytelling.
Well,
like
some of us rolled dice.
Like a random numbers game kind of thing. RNG. That's a cool way to say it. Everyone
just
loves
occurred to
RNG.
me while I was sitting back and, while this whole interview was happening without me, it gave me a chance to think. Kelly, are you asking this because you are secretly our first alien encounter and you're like wondering whether or not you should come out and like admit to people that you're an
You
alien?
can come out. You can say you're an alien. That's cool.
Because there's clearly someone here that's DTF with some aliens, so like don't feel shy.
Well, I think honestly, my take on it when I was listening was like, look, do you just need to get it off your chest? Like we're talking about if it's cheating or not. So if you did have sex with an alien and need to like get it off your chest, we're an open environment here.
Yeah.
As I can't speak for the Twitch chat, but they're historically fine.
Yeah.
If you got it on your chest and you need to get it off your chest, feel free to let us know.
Like, did the alien get it on my chest?
Yeah, we have a shovel in the back, I think.
A shovel.
Whoa.
What?
I mean,
Sorry.
Yeah,
Yes,
I had
producer.
Feedback from the Twitch watchers that my producer mic was still good, so I've got a better mic now.
Oh,
Oh.
I think
That's
the
a-
problem is that can Kelly and Rue hear me?
oh yeah, we hear you.
yeah. Kind of like inside my head though, not like through a mic or anything. Like just like right into my brain, like my inner monologue is you.
Yeah, that's
actually
Total. Okay, cool. I'm comfortable with this.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Shut him out.
Don't let whatever's in there get out.
Well, I thought I made the echo worse. Moving on.
So
So
angrily moderate Twitch chat from in there.
listen,
I
we
don't
don't have the
think we
time. We
have
have
that
to.
going
We haven't
on,
even
though. That's
gotten
the
to the
thing.
interview. We have I got like 5 items left on my production checklist. So
Let's go. Let's do it.
all right. So my first question is for Patty.
It's me.
So we've got, thanks. It is confusing. I'm still confused. So next week, we got to convince Braden to run one more session.
Oh yeah. Okay.
How are we going to do that?
Should I like roll for persuasion?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Okay. Are we doing d6s?
No, roll a d20 on this because I want a higher number.
Yeah, I like high numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just give me a second.
Yeah,
here.
like
Just
it's
kinda-
still out of 6, but
it's bouncing around in there in
Just
my hand.
arguably better.
yeah,
Yeah.
If it's a 14, how can I say no to a 14?
yeah.
Yeah. So 14's the one. Okay.
Because the week after that we've got covered, but next week's
Yeah.
a big hole, and
Yeah.
like this is all pending his game actually being good. But I'm very excited about it.
I think we'll figure it out. Okay, I'm ready. I've been shaking it for.
It looks rolled to me.
Yeah. Definitely. Oh yes, we got a big 3. We got a 3.
Shit.
Sorry, it's all booked up. I've got things, I've got files to write and pants to fold. I can't make it.
You need a die with more sides than that, man. We can't have this kind of shit happening.
I'm sorry. I totally dropped the die.
All right, well that's
Yeah.
fucked. Let's cross that one off. All right,
Okay.
my next question then is for Braden.
Mhm.
So this is also going to be a similar role. Convincing Nicole to move to Edmonton so we don't have to have her, like be this omnipotent like James Bond villain on the screen.
I kind of like it though, but
I
Well-
really prefer the comparison to Zordon than the James Bond villain, but
Well, you could still be Zordon here, because if you remember from the beloved Power Rangers movie featuring Ivan Ooze,
I do
that
remember
there was
that.
a moment where we got to see Zordon in the flesh, and it was made all the more significant. So please come down so we can have that moment. You can be our Bryan Cranston, you can be our whoever played Zordon in the original TV show. I don't know. I don't even know if Zordon is still in Power Rangers.
Yeah, I don't even know what the fuck Zordon is.
what?
Like,
No. What? You can't say.
How can you not? 90s passed you
David,
by.
can you
Yeah.
mute and take Kelly's audio off for the rest of the stream? That'd be really good.
Yeah.
We
Consider it
clearly
done,
have
Nicole?
surpassed. We've outgrown you, sir.
Wait a second.
Nicole, I've muted Kelly.
Mhm.
You're in the driver's seat now.
Oh, well, that was a mistake, but yeah, wasn't Ivan Ooze dying when we saw him in person? I'm a little leery to go down that road.
I mean, yes, yeah, but it was a beloved motion picture, and you can be that. You can be that for us, please.
Okay, all right, I can buy that. So actually, I had a question now that Kelly's muted and I have the floor. Say you have some like tension with your co-host and you're not sure how to address it. Like obviously, this is all hypothetical. Say he's like, maybe he's like bullying you for not living in Edmonton, and let's say like it's not just your co-host. Say it's the whole like production crew, and they're bullying you for not living in Edmonton and also not knowing how to use Zoom, and like hypothetically they're like concerned about like how good your eyesight is, and they think that you need glasses. How would you go about addressing conflict within the show?
Oh shoot! I gotta say that my favorite method of like conflict resolution comes down to the Klingon promotion status. Way back in ye old Star Trek, you just like you're the co-host now, but like defeat your friend in a ritual armed combat, and you are all of a sudden the host. You don't have to co-host with anyone. So really, all you need to do is just kind of like find the time and place method of their demise. And I think that's honestly my preferred means of conflict resolution. It's how I actually got here tonight. There was another GM booked and I dueled them in the parking lot.
Am I still muted?
No, it must have been a malfunction. We can.
Yeah,
we can
no,
hear
you're
you
fine.
now.
You're fine.
We can
Any
hear you fine.
danger you were in, like
So-
you're fine. Yeah.
Right. Okay, so my question
Yeah.
about what you were saying is that Nicole is already the main host.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the co-host.
Mm-hmm.
So like if she kills me, does she just like double become the main host?
Like arch host with like a hat. That's the promotion status.
Yeah.
It's like prestige ranking. Like you kind of like become the host all over again, but now you get a little flashy button that you can put on your lapel.
Okay.
Kelly,
Yeah.
for your sake, prestige ranking is from the Xbox and PlayStation game Call of Duty.
Yeah, I know that.
What is that? Call of Duty. What is that?
Please can this be a thing? Just useless trivia from David.
So, but okay, like let me run through my understanding of Power Rangers here.
Mhm.
So my understanding was that it was some like Japanese like show that was like completely recut and dubbed, so that like it was like I think it was like they just cut in monsters from like other shows or something. So like I thought it had no coherent narrative or lore because it was like whatever they found in like some stock footage or whatever, and they just kind of like you didn't have the same monsters or whatever, so you couldn't have a consistent villain. Or am I totally wrong?
I thought that was like all TV.
Yeah.
Like all TV doesn't have, like they just film stuff and then they make it make sense. Like that checks out, I think, for everything ever made almost. Nothing like this show, but like
As far as we
definitely.
know, there's no Super Sentai show with this exact setup that
Yeah,
we're cutting
yeah.
in audio and footage from.
That would be good though. You know,
Yeah, maybe we should be on the lookout
I'd
for
watch
that.
that. Yeah.
I'm a kaiju fan. You know, I'm wearing a Godzilla t-shirt. If I haven't already mentioned that, that's one of my big plugs.
That specific T-shirt.
Yeah, just my Godzilla t-shirt that I have right now that I'm wearing.
Wait, that's your plug? Like just check out Godzilla?
well, like check out Godzilla on my
his
shirt.
shirt, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to just gather like fandom for your shirt? Like follow my shirt.
Well,
On-
not even follow it, just like
Just appreciate.
look at my Godzilla shirt. And it's
Okay.
like,
I guess we should have clarified before the show, but you're only allowed to plug one thing. So now that you've mentioned the Godzilla shirt, you're not allowed to plug any of the like. You're not allowed to plug your show or
Oh.
anything.
yeah, I didn't want to do that anyways
Sorry.
because, like, obviously, like, if I showed up with just like a black T-shirt, then I might have plugged my show. But I showed up with my Godzilla T-shirt, so it's priority thing. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
David, can we bleep the part out where I said their Twitch handle?
Yeah, we will
Yeah,
definitely bleep out the
just-
mention
all right.
of private.
Just
and
totally
Magpie
get rid of
on
that,
Twitch.
yeah.
And can we send someone to kind of Men in Black the live viewers who probably already heard it and might have already typed it in? We also are probably going to confiscate their computers. Are you writing this down?
yeah, we've got to do like a whole operation here just to wipe that from like happening because that's not okay. I think is the biggest point.
If we can just pause the Twitch stream very briefly.
Right?
We have a subscriber, Frozen Stash. So Kelly, if you can do our new subscriber dance for Frozen Stash, that would be great.
Oh, we have a new subscriber.
Oh my gosh.
Wow, is that? I think that's Fortnite season 3 for sure. Sorry, I
It must be. I don't know. I just like,
Yeah, no, I
I just kind of absorb things from the kids. I
There
see
was
them in the street and I'm like, I got to do that.
Yeah, I signed the disclaimer not to bring up Fortnite, and I did it,
Yeah.
and just happens every time. I'm sorry. It's a Twitch streamer thing. It's just it's involuntary. So I'm just gonna apologize flat out. Not even bother with the YouTube apology video. I'm just gonna apologize right here.
Oh my
Well, okay,
gosh.
this was it's kind of a great segue into my next list item, but I maybe feel like you're not the person to ask, which is how do we not get canceled?
How do we not get canceled? Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not the person to ask. I think it's like
No, that's fine. Let's turn this one to
sure. Yeah. Okay.
Let's turn
great.
this one to Braden. How do we not get canceled?
Honestly, I feel like it's a easier slope than most people give it credit for. How you don't get canceled is you get canceled and then you get better. You learn from it. You take the hit and you figure out what you're doing.
Source.
I don't even have any sources or
Oh.
like any jokes or any from here. Like this is literally just like the off the cuff ideas about canceling. Like I think
So you're saying we should rush right into it.
rush right into it and deal with that because that's important to grow. Like a person, like you get criticism, you move on.
All right. So the official stance of the show going forward is that all Uzbeks should be transported to the bottom of the Marianas Trench.
No, we can't do that.
Well, we can't.
No,
No.
let him fall. This is neat. This
Yeah.
is what we need.
Yeah. Tune in next week for
Progress happens.
Yeah.
tune in next week for Nicole's apology as the host of the show.
Thank you,
If
Nicole.
I could just jump in as super producer here, with
super
my
producer.
impeccable timing. Lit Void on Twitch has asked if we can get a Super Sentai spin-off of Point Under Punches. So if you want to write that down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've got some tight leotards and stuff, and just like tight suits. I just have a lot of tight suits. I have a whole closet of tight suits, and my basement's tight suits, and I've taken all the food out of my kitchen.
Am
And
I
that's
gonna-
tight suits too?
Put it into tight suits.
Yeah. Actually, I just forego Ziplocs and any like Rubbermaid stuff. It's just I put any like old steaks or anything, just like macaroni salad, into Sentai suits.
Am I going to cancel for not knowing what like Super Sentai is, or?
It's not as bad as you think, but maybe it's not as good as you think. I don't know.
But honestly, going back though to the Power Rangers thing, like I don't understand the whole idea of it not having a concept. They explain it to you very, very quickly. Alpha, Rita's escaped. We need to recruit some teenagers with attitude. Boom, our mission statement.
Yeah, and then
accomplished within
that
the very
killer, the intro, the killer is
Those words are seared into my mind. That is the
Yeah.
mythology of our time.
Yes, I never really.
years, I'm finally free.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
I never really watched it. I think it was because it was like a favorite show of that one like kind of weird friend I had who was into the worst TV shows. Like he made me watch Dragon Ball Z at his house once, and I was like, "This
Right.
is hot garbage." So
Uh-oh.
like I can only assume Power Rangers is at that level of quality.
I think I'd like your weird friend.
I need to go ahead and apologize to my boyfriend that's watching this because he's like definitely into Dragon Ball Z.
We're
Or
gonna-
was
here we
when he
go.
was younger.
Here we go. Here we go. This is it.
This is an official
cancellation.
This is the cancellation.
Yeah.
Oh, I have
Cancellation,
so many
guys.
bad opinions loaded up in the cannon. But we're gonna like trickle them out like week by week. But what you get this
well, we
week
got
is
to
like
do the DBZ one first.
Yeah,
See,
So-
this is where irony gets us because we'll never get canceled. You'll be throwing out the worst things you could think of and will be just completely unnoticed. Our quest to get canceled will result in us never getting canceled.
See, my
Wow.
problem with that is that means that all of our followers are like unshakable and we don't have any critics and any critical voices. We're just like sitting in an echo chamber of bad
Echo
opinions.
chamber.
So I've got good news and bad news for everybody.
Oh.
What do you want first, Kelly?
I don't ask me. Nicole's the host.
Let's rip off the band-aid. What's the bad news?
Yeah.
the
let's
bad
go.
news is we just got notice that Kelly's been canceled.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense.
Okay.
The good news, and if I can just lift the old
I thought that was the good news. I'm confused.
curtain here. Nicole and I have been on a quest to find a better name for the show, which I think the inaugural stream is the best time to talk about it.
Wow. Here we are.
What do we think about CancelQuest?
CancelQuest.
I'm into it.
What? It might give the wrong impression.
Yeah,
That's definitely how we get the wrong followers.
that's true. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's speed through the rest of the production checklist because I really want to get to the interview.
Yes.
Dice Mike's already bitched about that.
True.
Okay, this is a big one. So I know that you're, a streamer. This isn't quite your thing, but this is a show. We're streaming it. We're going to be like putting the video recordings up. Pretty visual medium. It's kind of like new modern TV. But we also were thinking of kind of just like taking the audio and making for people who are on the go. They don't have time to sit and watch. They can listen to the audio of the show. Now that's dangerously close to being a podcast, which we would never do.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. You want to
Right?
steer
Like
clear,
that's
for sure.
degenerate shit.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah.
Despite everyone's suggestions that we should like edit it down and only produce the audio and do like a podcast because it's a more accessible format, we're totally against that. Is that right, Kelly?
yeah, that's like,
Cool. Yeah.
first off,
Just checking.
podcasters are like the sweatiest people on the planet. We don't want to be that.
Yeah. I don't sweat. Yeah.
I just like, yeah,
Check.
kind
Are you
of,
there?
yeah. I don't know. I kind of get just sick imagining, going to, like putting on your resume, like podcast or something like that. Like that's disgusting. Which is why this is a live show with an audience. Our audience is, you know, everyone who can hear us through the window there on 118th Ave.
Yeah. And also an app called Twitch.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
T-Witch?
Twitch. Oh.
So the question is, do you know of any audio distribution platforms that are not for podcasts?
Not for podcasts?
Like, are there any audio distribution platforms that are kind of geared towards like, kind of like new age alternative recorded improv theater?
New age.
That wasn't a good word. Drop that word.
Okay. No. Okay. So fixated on it. It's all I can think. What are the other words other than new age?
Yeah. So it's like avant-garde.
Oh, wow. That's a big one. Yeah.
Alternative improv theater.
Is this like
with dice?
Like David Finch?
I feel like people like David Fincher. We can go with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Are there any kind of like really David Fincher centric audio platforms that do not host podcasts on them? Because like I think that's our milieu.
Yeah, yeah. Just like Eraserhead soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only one I've seen recently. Yeah, you know, I might have a real answer for this question. Hold up.
Oh my god, an actual answer.
I might have a real one. Just
holy crap.
You know what? Actually, it's going to take me like 7 years to flip through on my phone. You know what? I'll just send it to you on Discord. That's a pretty good
why don't you record your answer later and then we'll just kind of splice it in?
Oh, huge.
Yeah, David told me he could do anything. So
David.
Yeah. I think David specifically said he loves spending hours on editing and
that's true.
And so
it's his favorite part of this job.
Yeah, he also said he has way too much spare time. He was like, yeah, like running a small business is so easy.
And he's just rolling in money from it, and he's like, I don't know what to do with all this money. Like, please, like, take some mic stands. Like,
I saw the money pile. It's pretty good, actually. Yeah,
that's where he's recording from right now. Is within the cash pile.
Yeah, he's inside like a cash fortress.
I don't like. That's why I was so surprised with the echo that was coming through, because I thought all of like the money around him kind of like deadened the sound a bit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's like, I mean, it's mostly coins, so they really like echo a lot because he's got the Scrooge McDuck fault, right?
Yeah.
So,
I was thinking like paper money. What?
That would be better to dive into. You're like, why wouldn't you dive into that? You're not going to get all these head injuries, and you know, I mean, they're part of David's charm is the head injuries, but like,
can you actually like swim in coins though? I've always
absolutely not. This is what I've been telling him, but he's got like, so he's got this really elaborate system.
Does it anyways? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, where he like. You know, like the ball pit, McDonald's ball pit things. So he's cutting holes in those and putting the coins in. But then I'm like, no, that ruins it, because the whole thing that makes the ball pit like absorbent reusable is the fact that they're a perfect pocket of air. So he jumped on it and crushed all of them. And I'm like, well, like now you're gonna have to spend some of that money buying new balls every time. I mean, he's got enough money he can, but like it's wasteful. It's the plastic waste.
Yeah.
If you
we've been trying to convince him to move to the dragon aesthetic where he just like curls up and sleeps on them.
Smog. Yep. Big time. Yeah.
But we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll turn out good. You know.
Yeah, we just want the best for him. We want it to be easy.
Yeah. No, totally. Big time.
All right, did we cover the projection? I can't say this word. Can we have a new word that isn't production?
Sure. Yeah.
Like, what's a simpler word? Process. Yeah. That covers my process checklist. David, as our processor, is there anything left for our pre-processing that we can do? Or can we move on to our interview?
I think now's a great time to move on to the interview. We're 47 minutes into the show.
That's perfect. We have time for one question, and then we'll move on to the game. So as we've said, so this question is for Patty.
Oh,
yeah. Okay. We figured we would interview the guest this week.
Okay.
Maybe next week we'll interview the GM.
I mean,
yeah. So, you know, you're here to really make a statement. You're our first guest. We wanted somebody really impactful, and there's no better time than now to start looking at like if you look at what's around us, we have our, you know, like our ecology is degrading around us. We have all this resurgence of like, you know, fascism and neo-Nazism. We've got, you know, the whole, I mean, David's sick with some sort of disease. I don't even think it's
fascism.
Yeah, he's getting into it. He's really weird. He's telling me all this like weird white nationalist stuff, and I'm like, David, I got bad news for you. Like, so, but anyway, like, with all that, like, give us some words of hope. Like, how are you going to solve these problems by streaming video games on Twitch? Like,
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's really good that you bring that up. So is it just the white supremacy? Well, I guess everything kind of roots from white
One at
supremacy.
a time,
Because if
like-
we want to tackle the climate crisis, we do have to talk about white supremacy.
Yeah.
So that kind of makes sense.
this is part of the question: is which problem are you going to solve first? With
Like individually?
yeah, with like playthroughs of Dark Souls or whatever the fuck or Animal
Yeah,
Crossing.
yeah. I haven't touched Dark Souls yet, but I think we're gonna get there, and that's really when social change will start coming about. Is when I play Dark Souls on Twitch. Why do I hear laughter? It's just like in my head. There's no
It's pretty
microphone.
fucked up.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, anyone like illusions of grandeur or anything like that, or be unrealistically positive, but. I mean, let's look at the future kind of catalog. So pandemic is kind of in a lull right now, but fourth wave's coming with Delta and stuff. So staying inside, I'm outside right now, outside where I'm usually inside.
Outside,
And now I'm-
upside down. Sorry, go ahead.
Nicole.
I'm having trouble keeping
That was
it
a
all
throwback.
straight.
That was a throwback to a Dr. Seuss book. You guys might have caught that reference.
Nicole,
Yep.
just a little production note for you.
Yep.
Process note.
This is a process note for you. As the only woman on the show, it's a bad look if you apologize for wanting to participate and contribute.
No, come on.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. That was. bad.
Oh,
I'm
what?
sorry.
No, come on.
Just gonna get uppity.
Yes.
Okay. What was the question again? We're solving all the world's problems. Okay. So like I said, we're not at Dark Souls yet. We're currently streaming The Last of Us, which is a game about the world ending. So that's been a lot of fun. Also about like cycles of violence and stuff. Also about crumbling public infrastructure, which I think is also very on the nose for today. So getting back to streaming video games, it's going to fix nothing. Just as like a flat out, like playing the video games is like, that's not going to do anything for anyone. But here's the fun part: as we all kind of hang out and play the video games, and the people we hang out with, we have a good time. Well, we alleviate the ever-growing pressure that this world's going to be probably uninhabitable. We're probably going to be abandoned by our governments on some time. So we'll all have to fend for ourselves. So if we create relationships and mutual aid networks, I'm sure we'll do fine. But through the show, we also raise some money. So I'm not allowed to plug who we help. So that volunteer group, sorry, I know you do good work and you save people's lives, but I'm not allowed to plug. I'm just wearing a Godzilla t-shirt.
Yeah. Well,
So-
and thank you for respecting our rules. Like if we
totally,
don't have the
yeah.
rules, what do
It's
we
like they have really important work, and like I should probably shout them out, and people should donate to their cause. But like just because
Yeah,
there's only
well-
one plug per stream, like I don't know.
I suppose you should have thought about that before plugging a city
Like-
ruining monster, but that's
No.
that's just how it goes. Well, maybe we'll have
Yeah,
you
well,
back
it's my
and-
Godzilla t-shirt. Like I
Yeah.
have to. So, but maybe I can find a way to get like an extra plug or two. But like I don't want to bend any rules or anything, or change anything. That's too much for me personally. But someone
Maybe-
else is like
Yeah,
willing
maybe-
to,
Yeah.
Well, we can renegotiate the plugs on your next appearance. But for now, we don't have time. I did say one question, but I feel like maybe it's unfair for me as the sidekick host to get the only question. So, Nicole, did you have 1 to 8 or more questions for Patty?
it's pretty good variance.
Let me just zoom through here and see what's the most relevant question here. This is, I guess, so you're a Twitch streamer. So are you stream by yourself? I'm assuming you have a gaming stream. So
Yes.
I guess this is kind of a throwback to our question, but how did you end up with a solo show? Did you also have to like do a Thunderdome situation with a co-host, or were you just kind of?
That's a good question. I think it was like more of like an ego death thing. So like I fought myself. It was like I think it was like post complete mental breakdown, and just like looked at myself in the mirror and was like, I'm going to fight you. You're my enemy now. So, and then that was like a good few, I don't know, 48, 72 hours of like deep introspection and like a complete rebirth of who I am. And then decided, yeah, definitely want to play video games on the internet. Definitely just want to do it by myself in my basement. And yeah, and then I did that for like 6 months with like some close friends, and that was basically my entire audience. And now we're making money and raising money for volunteer groups that I'm not allowed to plug still. So, but if I could plug them, like, you know, I would. But yeah, that's basically what we do on the stream is we play video games, and then all the money goes towards people actually trying to improve the world, which is I don't know if I put myself in that category, but no.
Patty, just in case it comes up by accident, can you let us know who the charity would be that you would plug?
If it comes up by accident?
Yeah, I just want to know who that charity would be. So if it comes up, I can bleep it out.
Do you want me to just say it over the mic right now and like we'll just edit it out, or like?
Actually, you know what? So everyone that's participating gets a free plug, and like because it's your first time, and I'm feeling very generous today. Like you can have my one plug. I won't.
What?
I know I won't plug my OnlyFans account just to give you this chance to plug your.
Whoa! Come on, everyone's got to plug their OnlyFans though. Everyone has an OnlyFans, right? You?
I mean, my OnlyFans
Ellie?
is doing okay.
David? Wait, I didn't need to yell. Sorry.
That's right. You have a microphone in front of you, Patty.
I mean,
you need to get at me. You just talk right to that little round thing in front of your face.
Okay. Right in front of my face, like super close. Like we're talking about your OnlyFans, and you're like,
yeah.
Nice.
Hit us with some of that sweet ASMR action.
Damn, that doesn't sound too bad. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry, Kelly, you had something to say?
It's fine. It's cool.
No, I was just feeling something. Sorry, it was just like a.
I have a similar thing, which is an only man's, which is it's a slightly different model that men can use, just like generic straight white men, which you like post porn and then you pay other people to watch it. Like, hey, please watch please download my news. I will give you $5. So
yeah, that sounds great.
That's a rip off. I feel like I've had that through SMS, but you know, I'm sure you know there's a platform for everything. So.
Yeah, true. Yeah. There's definitely like it's a wide spectrum of services, right? So you know.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So here's your shot. What's your if you got a plug?
Yeah, the extra plug.
Mm-hmm. The extra plug.
Here I thought we were having a whole thing about OnlyFans, OnlyMans, and OnlyMans. I like both. Okay. Yeah, the plug. Right. Okay. So. We have done 3 different donations so far. So just like, I know it's one plug, but you may as well just say all 3 because it's like, I'm plugging the volunteer groups that we support now. So
give him an inch and he takes the whole mile.
Yeah, I'm sorry to say. Also, I haven't mentioned this yet, and this is going to be a fun little progressive moment for everyone, but my pronouns are they, them. Wow. Big moment, big win. But yeah, this is a heads up. I didn't bring it up before. But that's it. That's as far as that conversation goes.
Yeah, sorry, my apologies if I messed that up.
No, you're all good. It's all good. I didn't bring it up before. That's kind of on me. And anyways, so as far as the groups, the volunteer groups, our most recent one was towards Water Warriors YEG. They are a group of volunteers in the inner city. And like the name says, they provide water, hydration, food, supplies, snacks, and other services towards houseless population of Edmonton. Pretty important work. There's multiple groups doing it, but Water Warriors is definitely part of that citywide collaboration and some efforts. And yeah, they also do, they have some naloxone training as well. So they do harm reduction as well. So we donated, I think it's $100 to them. Usually we get out to $100 on each stream or each month of streaming. So, and then the last 2 volunteer groups we also did was Treaty 6 Outreach, and they're usually at Beaver Hills Park in Edmonton here. And they also do very similar, like safe sex supplies, Noxalone supplies, harm reduction, community support. It's very open and compassionate. It's very meeting people where they're at. And then we also donated to Bear Clan Patrol, which once again is like the same realm of outreach work, supports, working with the community, working with folks out on the street, and just doing what we can for them. It's very non-judgmental sort of circumstance. So I think each of them we donated about $100 to, and we're going to continue doing that. That's kind of what we do at the stream, is all the revenue goes towards people who actually do things, unlike myself, who sits in a basement and plays video games and then shows up on not Sentai crossover episode yet.
You got an invite already for that one.
Yeah, I can't remember what we're calling it. No, not a production. Sorry.
A process?
Process. Thank you. Oh my gosh. You know.
Well, at the risk of inviting the wrath of David, who has threatened me with a very large cane if I break like the facade of insincerity for a moment, I would say that that's extremely cool that you're doing that.
Oh, yeah. See, I wasn't expecting that. I had like a.
No,
this
it's
is
good.
An empty page.
It's wholesome. I like it.
Oh, thank you.
So everyone, check that out and donate to that. Yeah, should we play a game?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, let's
Did
do
you
that.
bring anything? Or-
No, so let's have fun with this.
okay.
Killer. So what we'll do is because we're explaining the premise of our show, we'll kind of explain the premise sincerely of how we're going to be doing games. So the game portion of our show is a segment I like to call Dungeons Nor Dragons, in which we play some kind of pretty like simple, stripped down, rules light tabletop role playing game. We kind of have a homebrew rule set and really just leaning towards like silliness or character or story and away from extremely boring nerd shit like combat and spells and all that. So
Right.
we encourage people to, come and GM for us. We'll have GMs on a rotating basis, and we really also encourage people to like pick kind of more like unique settings, avoid high fantasy. If you do kind of go for that classic fantasy look, you at least cannot have any Dungeons or Dragons in it. But yeah, so for what we want to have generally going forward is GMs to come do like several weeks in a row so they can tell a story about 1 hour at a time. Everyone's welcome. We really want to encourage people that don't fall into the pretty common dungeon master category of like sweaty straight white dudes, but it's stuff out there. So anyone that is willing to come and put up with our bullshit, like we'd love to have you for a few weeks, or in Braden's case, only 1 week, and then he will never speak to us again.
That's the plan.
Yeah.
And I have abattoirs and wyverns. Would that be like too like close to product identity there? Maybe like basements and drakes.
Basements can be good. All of our practice sessions ended up in basements for some reason. But I had a very bad time in the basement we were stuck in David's games. So like just personally, I would entreat people like, can we go into an attic or something? Like I think the higher
Something
we are
above
off the ground,
Okay.
the better we are at these games, and the better I am at listening to the GM's descriptions and not tuning out and then having to ask, wait, what's in the room with me?
Right.
I think it'll be perfect in an attic. So
Okay. Attic. Okay.
All right.
yeah, so to kick us off, do you want to kind of like explain what the premise is to the audience?
Sure. So hello, everybody. Today we're going to be taking a look at some wild and crazy stories from Wonder Mill Vista. What is Wonder Mill Vista? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's the greatest indoor shopping experience in the entire world, based in Canada, and hosts over 100,000 people a day, hundreds of shops catering to whatever your desire is. It really is the nicest place you could take the family out for the weekend. Although the problem is that nobody there is sure when the weekend ends. They don't know where they parked their car. They don't know when they first arrived. And you know what? They don't even know if they want to go back. Wonder Mill Vista is such a lovely place that people just don't want to leave. And, when it comes to any sort of shopping center like this, you get a wide variety of businesses and patrons, sometimes from all over. And, keeping everybody, content to work with each other, no matter how many limbs or tentacles or dimensional scrambling vortexes wander in, it's important to make sure that everybody is safe. So we are following the exploits of the Vista security team that are responsible for keeping the mall safe and the inhabitants safe, and doing all of this for the low rate of $15 per hour. With potential for growth later on in their careers. Nobody's ever actually been promoted, but that's what it says in the contract. So that's our overall premise. We've got characters all made up, I understand. I've heard a little bit about Kelly's and Patty's. Nicole, you've got a character all whipped up and ready to go too?
Yes, my character is named Kiosk. I'm a former phone salesperson who is of Fey descent, who spent, a few years tricking people into contracts that they might not have necessarily understood, and, kind of lock them into agreements that might have been, longer than they had expected. And I've had a change of heart, and I've thought, I need to kind of balance out my karma and work more on protecting the innocent. So I've decided to switch over to mall security.
That is amazing. Thank you. Kiosk, right? Spelled exactly like I'm sure coincidental. I don't know if you knew this, but a kiosk is also actually something you could call like a little booth or boutique in a mall.
Yeah, actually, I wasn't aware of that. Kiosk is I'm using the Irish spelling here.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, so and you're all familiar with Irish spelling, so I'm sure you know how to spell that. But yeah, that's quite the coincidence. I didn't know.
All right, fantastic. Kelly, would you mind giving us a rundown about your character real quick?
I sure would. So my character is named Wallace Shart. Known as Wall to his friends. So his name is Wall Shart. He's a mall cop. He exists in Wonder Mill Vista as part of a karmic punishment for his part in bilking massive numbers of Albanians out of millions of dollars in a prior life cycle. He doesn't know this, but perhaps he may one day. I would visually, I would describe Wall as slovenly and unhygienic, but curiously hot.
Like my ex-boyfriend. What?
Got him. If you're out there, Nicole's ex-boyfriend, you just got. Just a heads up. I don't know where you are, but we got you.
I'm sorry about your name being Shart. That's pretty bad.
That's from a different karmic punishment, even earlier life. Wallace participated in some pogroms, but
wow.
It's a long karmic hill to climb back out of that valley, but he'll get there maybe.
Probably. All right, fantastic. Wow. Our guest of honor, would you like to talk about the character you've brought for us?
Yeah. So my character's name is Chad Flips. He is a deckspert, so he can expertly put together a deck. If you didn't catch that, it's some fun wordplay for everyone watching. The laughter. I get a chill down my spine every time I hear it.
What are you talking about?
Nothing. It's don't worry about it.
That's fair.
Yeah, so anxious. So Chad Flips was one of those like community green shed workers down at the playgrounds in like suburbia, anywhere in Canada. I don't know. I think so. They're here in Edmonton. Is Edmonton canonical?
It's sort of in existence at the same time as like Valhalla is in existence.
Right.
Like, you're aware of it. You're pretty sure it's just outside.
Out yeah.
If you just wanted to leave, but of course, why would you?
No, I don't want to leave. I found my place at Wonder Mill Vista for sure. So after getting some, taking out all the supplies in the green community shed just to put in skateboard decks for all the kids that don't want to learn how to skateboard, but they will. He fell into a cosmic portal, and essentially, even though Chad Flips has the Flips name, it's kind of a big character point, but I'm going to reveal it now for a little bit of intrigue and hook. He cannot kick flip. So that's been a very big point of tragedy in his life. He does carry the Flips name, can't kick flip. So he only skates really fast. He's like a speed skater. And this skill was seen by, the security team at Wonderville Vista, and he didn't want to originally be a part of it because he's pretty anti-authoritarian, but he realized that they are just trying to keep people safe, and he said, I won't be involved in any of the tough guy stuff. That's not really for Chad Flips. So he's more of like a courier for the security team. He just carries stuff around from store to store all day long. That's all he does. He skates everywhere, he rolls everywhere. Mm-hmm. Actually, the big myth is that no one's seen Chad Flips walk anywhere ever. In fact, people don't even know if his right foot comes off the skateboard. It just seems to be like a part of him now. And not just like emotionally, but physically it's bonded to his feet, and now he can only skateboard places.
So wait, is that his front foot or his back foot?
Yeah, in my heart of hearts, it's like his right front foot. Wait, how do you have back feet? What's a back foot?
Well, okay, so if you're on a skateboard, one of your feet is always riding ahead of the other because they're.
And so we find ourselves
Yeah.
inside of a crowded residential space within the Wondermill Vista. A number of small hotel blocks line one wall. Sunlight streams in from the open windows. The smell of frozen yogurt hangs thick in the air. Occasional sound of basketball sneakers creak, 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 going down the hallway as people run this way and that. And we find ourselves at a lonely little security desk midway down the corridor with a big VS over top of it, marking this as Vista Security. There we see a number of board attendants that are waiting for various calls, dispatch, and the like as they attend to their various business, going through crosswords, pagers, and who knows what other strange artifacts from ye olden times, when there is a ring at the desk, bing, bing, and a little slot on the far wall goes and continues to turn around before finally landing on the name Kiosk. Kiosk, you have been summoned to the front desk. Someone needs your help.
Okay. I guess I step up to the front desk and I look around to see if there's anyone here that might need my help. Or wait, sorry, the phone has rung.
The front bell at the desk has run, so you've gone ahead, move to your station, and pause. There's no one there. And then you can see it, just what looks like almost like a head of broccoli underneath the rim of the table, staring up at you. And then as they kind of pull up a stool and sit up, you realize that it's just a person with extravagantly green hair done in a perfect bowl shape, wearing a bandana and tie-dye shirt, arms laid out with tattoos. She kind of has a winsome look about her, and she looks up, goes, "Oh, geez, I think I just projectile shot that all the way to you. Keep that. You get extra
An
points at the end." She goes, "Hello? Would you happen to be the security detail around here?"
Yes, I would. Is there anything? I'm kind of new around here, but I don't know how this works. But can you tell me, I guess, what your problem is, and maybe I can talk to someone who knows how to solve it?
Oh, you are very efficient at laying out all the details. Thank you. My name is Twillo, Exarch of Nature from the fourth plane of Arborea, and I have a problem. My son, Ryder, he's gone and fled. I don't know exactly where, but I'm told that the corridor he went down leads to some different part of the mall, something that, patrons can't access. I'd like you to go in there and find him, please, right away.
Okay. I think we can do that. I'll just go back and check with my team. So I guess I head to the break room. Where I see my coworkers, and I say,
Yeah.
Does anyone know how to deal with actual complaints? This is my first one.
Oh yeah, that guy. Chad Flips is sitting there, and he had headphones, and now the headphones are out. Now he's talking. I've seen that guy come around a few times. His son is stuck in that other part of the mall again. Classic. I've been there a lot. We can get on the board and scoot on over whenever, but I only have enough room for myself. So you would have to get your own skateboard. And then he finally puts his arms down from lifting just 7 longboards, all perfectly stacked on top of each other. And he just kind of puts them down to the side. And he preps and starts to get ready as he looks over at his compatriot, Wall Shart.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I was just kind of inferencing that maybe you should come as well. Maybe that was because I was getting ready. I said I would go, so I was kind of hoping just by looking at you and the whole context of us being part of the security team, you would come too. You know, that was sort of like, that was my body language. 75% of communication, like, you know this, you've been through training. 75% of communication is body language. So I
Made up
figured
number.
If I
No
did the
science
subtle
behind
look,
it.
if I look over at you after putting down my longboards that I was lifting.
Can't quantify communication like that.
Yeah. Okay. So this is, you know, now you can be Wall Sharp, you know.
So Wall stands up like begrudgingly because like even though everyone has kind of been in this void, as I understand, for like an indeterminate period of time, Wall absolutely has the vibe of like that one person that's been there way too long, and just like was really hoping that this like fucking, you know, piss and vinegar young gun was just gonna go out and do it. So all right, let's just lead the way.
Right. Okay. So I basically know nothing, so it's good that I'm leading the way. But I let's go talk to what was the name again? Mrs. Arborea, or was that the place that she was at?
I think her name was Twillo,
Twillo, right? Got it.
and her son's name was Ryder.
Oh my gosh, you got the notes. Chaos, you got to do the notes because I can't do the notes.
It's my first day. I did write this down, so
Yeah,
I
I mean,
was
like,
a little exam.
that's a bigger skill set than all of us here. So like, that's amazing. You if you keep writing stuff down, we might actually be like a functional, you know, a force in this mall. We might actually be able to help people. So that's a good
Kiosk
step.
blushes. They're like super tickled by that compliment.
Wow, that's great.
As you guys are heading out of the break room, you can hear the characteristic clap, 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 clap coming down the hall, and you could hear a distinct coming from a taller individual that's kind of approaching down the corridor. Perfect white stainless jumpsuit of the Vista security with a smart black tie, a sword belted on one side, and a set of keys jingling about on the other. Approaching you is Logan Lelystad, the security detail officer here at this point. Your boss, in other words. Just good old fashioned by the book cop, you know, just like has that like broad shouldered 4-horse legs, kind of just noble bearing, kind of plops in, goes, sorry, I didn't mean to intrude on your affairs. I understand you're heading after a complaint, but Wallace, Mr. Shot.
Oh no!
Without being noticed, Wallace tries to like take his name tag back out of his pocket and stick it back on. Like, oh yeah, yep.
Might I have a moment of your time, please? Kiosk and kickflips, go and attend to business. Wall Shot shall be along shortly.
Yeah, Kiosk, you know what vaporwave is? The conversation fades out as we walk away.
Kind of starts like approaching you, hands behind his back, kind of clop with me, Wallace.
In a very like beaten down like Walmart employee doing the morning like cheer ceremony way, Wallace does as he's told, kind of goes like with his mouth, like as he falls along.
It's just the polite thing to do.
That's how things are done. Just this is a question for Braden. Like, did you say this is a centaur?
Yeah.
Okay, I took him in to be like 4-horse legs. What does that mean? I thought it was a weird compliment. Like, oh yeah, that dude's got 4-horse legs. Like,
No, he's a good old fashioned centaur.
cool.
He's marching down the hallway, heading in the exact same direction as your associates, just like a little bit slower, playing that awkward game of like keeping far enough away to kind of have a private conversation. And he looks over towards you and goes, I have news from the director of Vista Security. I've been offered a position at one of our off-site branches.
Oh, yeah, that's cool, man.
And that will mean that as commander of this particular outpost of Vista Security, I shall have need of someone to fill those hooves.
Oh, Mr. Oh fuck, I forgot my boss's name. Mr. Centaur, sir, I gotta tell you that like I'd be honored if you chose me for it. And even as he's saying this, Wall is dying inside because he doesn't mean it.
Oh, you thought no. You're terrible for the position. That position suits you just fine. Menial labor for the rest of your days. No, I was wondering if you would do me a favor, and while you're working today, just keep an eye out on your younger associates. Evaluate them for me, if you will, and come back to me at the end of the day with a report about who has what it takes to settle my oats.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Saddle your oats.
Settle my oats.
Yeah, absolutely, sir. I'm gonna get right on that, and like performatively pulls out his notepad to like show he's gonna take notes, and like quickly and subtly again tries to flip so his boss doesn't notice that like his notepad is full of just like doodles of naked ladies.
And you go ahead and flip it over. He goes and nods. Very good. Now, gallop along, will you? And he turns and trots down the hallway, heading back towards the security station, tipping his head to every person that passes, and they all go and smile and look, and then they just slowly turn their gazes back and they fall upon Walshart, and just like the air of palpable disappointment of like, oh, as you are left alone there.
I do have that effect on people.
Mm-hmm.
So am I following them still, or do I need to
You're
go
like
back
a good, like maybe like, 10 or 20 paces behind, like not too far out, honestly.
I kind of like dip over to buy a pretzel because I'm like trying to like push it to the limit and like putting off how quickly I actually catch up, because like really not excited to go talk to these people. So I'm like, oh yeah, I better get a pretzel.
Mm-hmm. Kiosk, you are being led by Twillo, who kind of is like marching along the ground, hands kind of pressed together. You could see like little plants and sprouts forming between the porcelain tiles where they walk, and eventually leads you to this just completely unseemly, just nondescript door in the middle of the mall corridor. There's boutiques, storefronts all along either side, and then just this blank white door in the middle of the space. And as Twillo approaches, they go and bow their head and go,
my son did run into this space, and I'm worried he might be lost. I did not mean to say such terrible things to him. It was a moment of anger. Please.
And Twillo locks eyes with Kiosk.
Please, I urge you, bring him back, and thou shalt find destiny has graced thee.
So Kiosk, this is hitting them pretty hard because they've like been partied to lots of like changeling situations, and they've like stolen lots of children. So they start to like tear up a little bit and get kind of emotional, and they say, Twillo, don't worry, we'll bring your child back. And they stride confidently through the door.
It opens up into this just beige hallway that proceeds onwards and onwards and onwards into the distance. And as you're looking at this, Chad flips. You recognize where this leads to at an instant. You're a courier. You go around between the mall's different businesses, and you know where these corridors lead, or more precisely, where they don't lead. These are the deep corridors, the constantly changing labyrinth of hallways that connect the parts of Wondermill Vista and then connect to who knows what else, as the corridor yawns before you like the opening of a cave mouth. You could see this just like horrific pale fluorescent lighting flickering as you're staring down.
Oh yeah, this is it. This is the old stomping ground. Chad Flips has been lost in here, I don't know, 1-2 years, but that's where I got my skill from. I started rolling one day, and I was stuck in these hallways for a pretty long, indeterminate time frame. And let's just say it was good personal growth. But yeah, glad to be back here. Kiosk, just so you know, if we go in here, there's a chance we probably won't come back out for a few years. So I'm fine taking that. It's kind of like just as a little disclosure. but like we'll probably get sucked into a time loop or something. But that's fine with me. I got nothing coming up. My schedule is pretty open. So if you want to go get sucked into a time loop, like I'm bringing my board, so I'm down to go in, and you just let me know what your comfort level's at. I don't want to breach any of that. I'm a pretty open, communicative guy. I definitely don't talk too much, so that's definitely a skill I don't struggle with. I usually like to keep things pretty clean and concise.
So Kiosk thinks for a moment about their recent divorce and how badly it's going, and how they wouldn't mind coming back a few years later when things have kind of settled down. And also like they have like a newborn baby who lives with their ex-spouse. So it's like not a big deal if they leave for a couple of years, but they're like kind of just like, they want to skip all the like diaper changing years. They're like, yeah, I could do that. Let's do this. I can risk this.
Yeah, definitely a cowabunga for sure. Yeah.
All right. And Walshard, you're following along in the aftermath?
Yeah, like just dragging my feet. I'm still working on the pretzel.
Yeah.
So I decided to make like a token amount of effort to, like, am I caught up?
Yep.
A token amount of effort to contribute, because I do notice that my coworker has said like, yeah, he's been in the shit before. So kind of with my mouth full, I'm just like, oh, how did you get out?
Oh yeah, definitely. Did you get the jalapeno dip with that one, with the pretzel? Pretty good. I've been to the store a few times. You get the really spicy. It's like a cheese. What is it? Yeah, kiosk. It's like a queso. It's so good. So good with the salty
food.
and the cheese. Yeah, I'll get to your question. I'm sorry. I get sidetracked. Chad Flips. How did I get out of it? I'm Chad Flips. I was in the. I kept rolling. Really, that was the biggest thing. I think what happened is as soon as I forgot I was in a time loop, which was probably about 2 years, I just found my way out. It's like the moment I stopped trying to find a way out, I found a way out. But that's a little tricky if you're like aware of how to get out. So just like, don't think about getting out. That might result in us never getting out, but that's how it worked for me.
There's a great metaphor in there about like how Walshard could actually get out of his like personal hell, which he thinks about every day, but he's like,
can you say that first word again? Metaphor?
No, this is Kelly saying this.
Oh.
I'm saying there's a great metaphor in there, but Walshart it completely goes over his head. He does not take a moment to self-reflect on like how he could apply that lesson to the struggle he has every day with his job.
Mm-hmm.
And he just kind of says like, all right, sounds like you got a handle on it.
Yeah, all right.
Who's taking the lead into the deep corridors?
Well, I don't take any notes. Kiosk takes notes. So if they're going first, they could probably take notes of what's coming up. I see a beige hallway the whole way through, but any variance, I won't perceive it because I don't write things down. So I think Kiosk should go first.
Yeah, Kiosk doesn't hear half of that because they're still thinking about their like spouse that has recently broken their heart, and they just leap directly into this beige hallway to try and like dive into this oblivion of like not remembering any of this.
Kiosk, could you go ahead and roll me a d6?
Oh, yep.
A D6 is what we call the Monopoly dice, Nicole.
Yeah, one of these little things.
Is that kind of like the Yahtzee dice, but different?
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah. So I'm currently rolling on a website. That's how I die.
I mean, yeah. Where would you find dice in your house? Like,
yeah, it's not my house, but okay. So I'm rolling a D6 for what now?
I'm just asking if you could roll me a d6.
Oh, I got a 4.
All right. So you go and proceed deeper and deeper into the corridors, this strange just network of hallways that open up. At first, it was just one long, endless tunnel, but now it's opening up. And now there's all of a sudden stairs that you're climbing up and ramps that you're sliding down. There's cave walls forming up around you, open air spaces, bottomless pits that you step around. Eventually, Kiosk, you're leading the way, and you're doing your best to like follow along with the nearby signage and direction, but you could hear a slight excuse me, and you go and turn and can see rising from the ground is what looks to be just a lump of trash bags, but then they congeal together and form into this great blob-like monster with eyes of rotten apples that poke through, a tongue of like a bunch of banana peels that are kind of like plastered together, like flapping around. This thing forms up before you and goes,
Excuse me. Do you work here?
I point at Chad Flips and go, he does.
Kiosk jumps back and goes, "Oh gosh, sorry, I thought you were my ex." Yeah, we work here.
Can you lead me to Hut Fatagan?
Sorry, man, I didn't catch that. Could you run that by me again?
Hut Fatagan?
No, man, like the whole sentence.
Can you lead me to the clothing store? Hot Fatagan. They're the only ones who carry things in my size. I've been looking for eons.
Oh yeah, man, just follow me. And Wall starts walking away, but is absolutely certain he heard Hot Topic, and that's where he's walking.
all right. So you're starting to walk back, and you realize that if you leave the deep corridors now, you might never reunite with your friends.
Do I realize that? Am I that smart?
Walshart would have been like heard enough about this in the past to know that like walking away from the team now, it's very difficult to see if you'll ever be able to run back into them again.
All right, that's fair. I kind of stop in my tracks and I look back at this blob thing and I'm like, can you help us get out of these corridors first?
Help you? I am lost! Can't you just lead me? It's your job.
Yeah, you know, Walshart, I think we got to just kind of take the trash hot topic boy just along with us right now. I think maybe you follow us. There's better chances of us just running in the garbage topic store. You know, you find the size of the thing that you want. How about you just come with us? We know where we're going.
Yeah, that sounds good. Can I check my surroundings? Like, what directions do I see from here? Like, have they shifted?
Geez, like a maze is opened up around you. You could see these little boxy corridors with constant little cubes that like run back into each other, and just a labyrinth of tunnels that you're kind of have found this guy in. Right now, it's just nonsense. Kiosk seems to have an idea of where you're going, but you know, who's to say if you could trust your senses at this point?
I motioned to my teammates and I'm like, hey guys, can we have a jam session over here? Which is what the mall calls like a team huddle or like a staff meeting.
Love a
Jam
good jam
session. Yeah,
session.
like the second page of the handbook.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
Guys, can we have a
over.
quick jam session?
Yeah. Okay, Kiosk. Let's go over for the jam session. Yeah.
All right.
So
Okay, Walshart.
You're saying that if we try not to leave, that's how we'll get out.
Yeah, well, we can't, like, technically, like, yes, that's true, but like I can't acknowledge that or else it won't work. So like we can't even have this conversation if we want to get like I shouldn't even finish the sentence I was just about to finish. So like you're right,
but we
like
gotta have a plan.
no, like
so
we
it
can't make
sounds like
I'm trying to tell you, man. I'm trying. Look, just we can't talk about it, but it'll work. We're not allowed to talk about the plan, but the plan will work. That's just how a good plan goes down, especially in the dark, the back rooms or whatever we're calling this, the corridor of time.
all right, I think I pick up what you're putting down.
Yeah, just don't think about it though.
So-
Like even if you do understand it, just make sure you don't, because that increases the effectiveness.
Wall walks away from the jam session with the like understanding that rather than like a coherent plan, which would backfire on us, we need to have the most counterintuitive plan possible.
Yeah, we
So-
like the opposite of a plan, really.
He spins off each of his coworkers in two different directions and kind of shoves them, and then walks in a third direction, and then motions to or looks back at the garbage monster and is like, just follow whoever you trust the least, and then he walks off hoping that everyone's going to walk in 3 different directions.
Do you guys do this?
Yeah, no, but if we split up, we won't find each other again, and we got to get back for, lunch in a year or two soon. So, like,
Yeah, but like you said, if we try to do something, it won't happen.
yeah,
So
but
if we
gotta
try to
stick-
split up, we
this-
won't get split up.
this, it's not like a mystery machine Scooby Doo. Like, we shouldn't split up. Like, I didn't say anything about that. I just said we can't talk about it. That's the whole challenge. Is we got to stick together. But if we acknowledge the situation in any capacity, we're stuck here forever.
So Kiosk has been taking notes this whole time, and they look back at their notes and they're like, I have no idea what's going on, but I'm new here, so I'm just going to follow one of these guys, whichever one seems most confident about what they're doing, which right now looks like Chad Flips.
Wow.
Yeah, so I just kind of look at Chad Flips and I'm like, okay, like if he wants to go, like we can let him go, but like maybe we should just do this thing. Like maybe we should just try and help this garbage monster. I have a phone. Like let's just Google where this place is.
Okay, garbage monster. Could I interest you in being tugged along on one of my longboards from Long and Mashade?
So I think at this point, we might call for a roll here. You're trying to convince this monster to
Absolutely,
do
yes.
what it doesn't want to do, because it doesn't want to follow you. It wants to go to Hot Fatagan, but you're heading somewhere else.
We're not
So
going to Hot Fatagan.
could you go ahead and roll me? I think Psyche would be the most appropriate here. You're trying to like personality kind of like, get this
Right.
guy kind of to trust you.
Come
a little
on,
bit.
trash monster. Beautiful rotten apple eyes I can't look away from, drawn in so deeply. This is my charm right now. Oh, nope. It still counts. It's a 5 and a 3.
8.
If you do math, that's 8.
Okay.
And it goes over to one of the longboards and shrinks on it itself. And just like you could hear like the sound of like plastic squealing as it compresses into this tiny little like almost like melting ice cream puddle of garbage. And it kind of blinks at you, goes,
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, see, I knew exactly that would happen. I've definitely dealt with folks out here are so bad. You just gotta have a conversation with them. It's just, the shrinking, growing garbage bag boys. It's, you gotta give them the opportunity to jump on your longboard and come along for the ride.
all right.
All right.
Kiosk writes that down.
Nice. Great job, Kiosk. You're doing so good right now because I forget everything I'm saying 3 seconds after I say it. Okay, I guess we should probably go the direction we're facing for no particular reason because we're definitely not. I shouldn't finish that sentence. All right, let's keep going. So yeah, Chad Flips basically is behind the little like garbage monster on the longboard, but like instead of like pushing them consistently, it's like a really solid kick, and then they kind of go for like a really long time, and then the wheels slow down, and then they're just there, and then they're just still, and we're like walking behind. So as we eventually catch up, like kind of like kicking a can, like just like kicking it forward every time we catch up. And in that time, I'm just kind of looking around, and I'm like, "Yep, definitely not thinking about getting out of here."
Wait, so are you riding one longboard and kicking another one ahead of you?
Yeah, essentially, it's an easy process.
Did you bring enough longboards for us all to ride one?
No, you know what? It's unfortunate. I have my own skateboard that's fused to my skin, and then I carry an extra longboard everywhere that I sling around with one hand like this, and I hold it by the trucks, and then
So when you say extra longboard, do you mean like a longboard that's like longer than the average one? It's extra long, or do you mean like?
no, it's like a backup one. It's like
Gotcha. Cool.
yeah.
You having a
Thanks,
problem
man.
over there?
That's the sound of the garbage boy. Yeah. I knew what that was immediately. I'm familiar with these sounds in the garbage people enjoyments. I know what they like. And it's a longboard ride with little kicks, and then they slow down, and then I kick them again.
Are they okay with being called garbage people, or is that like a? Is that a
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely willing to reorient my language for sure. I'm always in a learning process. Chad Flips. I mean, yeah, it's in the family name. You got to flip your perspective.
Since Chad Flip seems to be taking the charge here, could you now go ahead and roll me a d6?
What? All right. That's you.
Nope, just one.
Oh, I suppose that's what D6 means.
Mm-hmm.
4.
All right. So you are going ahead and you could just like walk down this hall and you can just hear this like kind of like constant like wee, wee, every time you go and kick the little board. And eventually you come to a point where the hallways stop being hallways and instead have become these marble corridors with great statues along the side. Statues of people that you can't quite place and like seem kind of fuzzy every time you glance at them. As you're kind of taking in this sight, you could hear the distant sound of a child laughing, echoing down the space, seemingly just beyond your reach. In the hallway, the immediate statue that catches your attention, the only one that seems to be definite, is of this just beautiful androgynous figure with hands pressed up. They're kind of offered up at a sway, and they're kind of glancing about. Their face is just cast in marble. And then as you guys are approaching, the eyes kind of glint over.
Oh my God. Kiosk, it's you.
Oh no.
Oh.
And Kiosk starts to panic.
It's me, Heathermore. Do you remember me?
Is this
Kiosk-
your ex-boyfriend?
Kiosk says, I don't know how to talk about this right now.
Yeah,
we knew each other in college. It was like a quick, I thought a quick fling, but I'm kind of whispering this to Chad Flips because I'm not sure how this person is going to react to
You're talking
me
on a microphone. I
interpreting
guess.
this as a fling, but we know each other. I remember you.
Oh, I have thought of you every day these long millennia. Kiosk, please, my love, you must help me. You must save me, Kiosk.
So Kiosk feels kind of bad about how they left this whole situation. So they go, okay, what can I do for you? How can I help you out of this situation?
As you can see, I'm a little mobility impaired at the moment. Forced into this marble form. I have not been able to stand and walk on my own. No touch, food, taste, breath upon my lips. I haven't been able to pee in a very long time. Please release me from this marble prison. Allow me to pass on.
So Kiosk, being a minimum wage employee, understands how hard it is to not be able to pee because you can't take breaks. So they're immediately invested in this, and they're like, you know what? Things didn't end great between us, but I'm willing to help out. What's the situation here? How do we do this? Is this like a curse thing? Do I have to is this a true love's kiss deal?
I mean, I wouldn't mind the latter. I'm pretty sure it's the former, though. I came here looking for ways to enhance my physical form, and the keeper of this hallway gave me it. But unfortunately, it came with a rather sturdy price. As you can imagine, I turned into a statue. I don't know if you got that part.
Wall totally got it. I didn't, but Wall did. Wall pulls out his his employee handbook that sits in like the opposite shirt pocket as his notebook, and flips to the page about flips to this chapter on customer is trapped. And flips to the subsection customer is a statue, and just goes through the script and is like, can you tell me if the statue transformation was brought on by a external curse or internal karmic situation?
And the statue begins to respond. So you're essentially trying to rely upon what the store already has, like this bank of knowledge to deal with this.
Yeah, the bank of knowledge the mall has in the notebook.
Okay, cool. I'm going to handle this with a action roll. This I feel like would be a best application of your understanding, your ability to get to the bottom of this and figure out the the details.
Because we're very smart and we did explain to our audience what the stats are.
Yes, so
Which are body, understanding, and psyche.
yes, body for handling physical problems, understanding for cognition, and psyche for willpower and your resilience and such. So I would say this would be a test of your understanding.
Okay, so I have a +1 understanding, which will bring me up to a whopping 4.
Flipping through the handbook, and eventually manage to get to a point where it's, okay, undoing curses, speak aloud this incantation, yada, yada. And you go ahead and do so. And you watch as the statue is standing there. And then as all of a sudden, slowly is able to move one hand away. Move the other hand away and watch as it slowly is turning into flesh. The garbage monster goes, wow, as it's still sitting on the longboard watching all of this. Eventually, the trapped person, Heathermore, manages to come off of the statue and look at their hands and watch in horror as they turn into these gnarled fingers, claws extending out. Their face wizens up and cracks as it all of a sudden undoes all this permanent beauty that has been established. Heathermore goes ahead and just
Kiosk, how do I look?
Kiosk says, you look great. Kiosk wants to preface this was by saying, you know what, I want to say I just got out of a pretty rough relationship and I'm not ready for any commitment, but you look good. Seems like whoever you meet next is gonna be really happy to meet you.
Oh, good. Do you have a mirror? I'd like to see my skin again.
Kiosk.
Chad flips like leans in and is just like, don't give him the mirror.
Kiosk thinks about the phone that they have in their pocket and the selfie mode that they have available to them, and they say, "No, I'm sorry. I left my mirror at home."
Okay. It's a good thing this marble floor is so polished.
and they reach down, get on their knees, and look and stare, then reel back.
What have you done? What incantation did you cast on me?
Wall flips to the page in the hand or the chapter in the handbook about like upset customers and moves down to the subsection on like problem solving gone wrong. And is like, sir or madam, please let me assure you that your problem will be dealt with. If you're not satisfied with how I have handled it, I can escalate this to my supervisor. Would you like that?
And while Wall is doing this, Chad flips. You can hear once again, that's just that ringing of children's laughter. A slight echoing down the hallway and seemingly coming from just around the corner. Meanwhile, you're looking and seeing that Heathermore is just looking more and more frustrated, just talking over Wall, going,
You did this to me. You did the curse wrong. I knew it was the true love's kiss thing. You should have smacked one on me. And now look at what's happened. You will give me back what was taken.
Wall panics and kisses
my youth.
Wall panics and kisses Heathermore.
It was unexpected. Not entirely unappreciated.
That was odd.
Wall does his best to like gaze longingly into Heathermore's eyes, but ends up just staring into the middle distance as always. Like kind of at a spot behind Heathermore's head.
Right. Well, it didn't work now, but eventually we'll build something together. And next time you give me a kiss, it will be true love. I'm willing to make this work, random security employee.
Yeah, and Wall like frantically flips through looking for a section on like customers falling in love with you and does not find one.
yeah, strangely enough, that's not in the handbook, maybe in the PDF.
It has like the condition of the customer seemingly improved, or
No. Heathermore looks the exact same.
I kind of panic a bit and look at the other two and see if they kind of like have.
Yeah, I got this one. I can do this one. Wall shard, if you want me. to be in this one. I've got great problem solving skills.
It's not a problem. You're great.
I think we should put a bag over his head. Why are you laughing? Why are we laughing?
Oh,
Then he can't see what is going on, and it's not a problem for me, but we don't have to look at it.
I know. I won't take your youth. I'll take this.
he's got a lot more of it.
I'm 53.
Oh,
I just have a youthful energy, but I'm a very old man.
I can taste it. I can taste it.
And the figure slowly started to reach out to you, long talons extending through the air.
Can I roll to put a bag on his head?
All right, sure. Go ahead and roll and add your body. Do you have any talents that would apply? Any things that would be of super benefit to this situation?
Kiosk, can you hold my endless Kool-Aid bottle? It constantly refills with blue Kool-Aid. Can you just hold it?
Yep, I can do that for you.
Okay, that's a special item use. And I'm gonna use body, and I'm gonna go for sort of like a. It's not a fight. It's not violence. I'm just gonna put a bag on his head and restrain him.
Yeah,
it's perfectly ethical. I don't know if it's an.
Go ahead and roll it.
What was that? Is that another artifact?
Yeah,
That was non-canon.
All right. There it is. 9.
All right, you go ahead and just as they're coming towards you, just go ahead and hand off the water bottle, and then do a flip up in the air, and you're like, "Is it kick flip?" No, your board cannot come off of your foot, but it's still a good attempt. And you bring the bag down over Heathermore. He's bashing away and trying to pull at it, but it's like one of those like weird like mesh bags where like it kind of like zips in real close, and like they're trying to fiddle around with the strings, but they're too tied up together, and their claws are useless for picking apart the knot. They're just screaming as they're going. You guys look and can see your young garbage friend just pulsing along and like with 2 little arms moving along the longboard away from this.
So I guess I got him. I got him in like kind of a hold here. I got him in a hold here, and I say, "Oh, buddy, you just gotta settle down. It's just a bag on your head. You can still breathe through it. It's just a small piece of fabric. You just have to wear it for 30 minutes. You'll be out of here." And I'm just trying to de-escalate, and I'm kind of like looking at Kiosk like, Kiosk.
So
No.
yeah, I'm gonna step in here. One of my special talents is that I am good at persuasion. From my years of working at a phone booth, selling phones to people.
Nicole, the word you're looking for is call center.
No. But yeah, so I've been selling phones to people for a while, and I know how to convince people of things, even if it's in their not in their best interest. So I go up and I am like, "Hey, buddy, I got this," and I kind of lean in a little bit so that Heather Moore could hear me, and I say, "Listen, it didn't work out between us, but I always thought there was something special about you, and I think that even with this bag on your head, especially with this bag on your head, you're going to be able to find true love, and I think that you should just let this one go and just accept that this bag is a part of you now."
Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah.
Heathermore kind of stops. Hands kind of drop to their sides. They're nodding. You could hear the whisper coming from without, like,
I know.
Finally, just kind of like head hangs down and goes,
You're right. I can't be taking anyone's youth. I need to work on myself a bit.
start to look at their hands through the bag, drop, begin to start walking away, spin around on their heel and stare across the way to Walshard.
Be seeing you.
And slowly Heathermore turns and sadly slumps off into the hall, vanishing back into the deeping corridor.
Yeah, I hope he knows his way around because you can't actually see through that bag. So I'm sure it'll be fine.
Well, let's hope it just kind of like the blindness heightens his other senses. And then suddenly Wall gets an idea and is like, that's it. And like looks for things to start throwing over our own heads. So we can kind of like, Luke Skywalker style, just like, feel our way out of the place.
If we can't see we're in here, we don't know we're in here. And Chad flips, gets goosebumps, goose pimples all over his Chad body.
And even Wall's getting excited and forgets to speak like he doesn't care and is like, yeah, okay, like what can we put on our heads? Like and then just like looks for like, do I see anything around me? Can I like turn my jacket into a hood?
What if we all look back at the trash monster? Just all three of us, are all of our heads slowly in the silence of this hallway, just like
Trash monster looks over at you and just innocently pulls out a small bag. It's just covered in just like dried like pop, like somebody like spilled a pop and it just kind of like coagulated at the bottom of the bag.
As long as it's dry,
like, greasy. It's nasty.
it's perfect.
So I look for I take it and then I like look for a larger bag on the trash monster to put on the trash monster's. No. I take off my jacket and say, "This is for you," and put it over the trash monster's head. And then
just burbling excitedly.
I say, "Follow your heart, trash monster," and I put the nasty bag over my head and I just like tear off in a direction.
Kiosk.
That direction.
Okay.
I just wanted to hear what Kiosk is like response to all of this.
No, Kiosk is Kiosk is fine. I know, you know what, Kiosk is like a little bit of a keener, and they're like, you know what, this person did ask for our help, this garbage person. And also we didn't actually ask the garbage person what they prefer to be called. So I'm feeling a little upset about it, but you know what, I'm also following the lead of my coworkers, so I'm gonna go ahead and follow Wallshart's example here.
With bags on your heads, you run through the deepest corridor, letting it take you where it will. Sound of children laughing accompanying you until finally your steps stop sounding like they're bouncing off the walls of the deepest corridor and instead echo into this grand space. A cool breeze wafts against your face under the bag. You could hear distant ding dong echoing through the space and going, "New customers have arrived. Welcome. Welcome to Next Stage."
Are we back at the booth?
No, you take off the bag.
I take off the bag and examine my surroundings.
And you look and see you are in a perfectly blank store, like a big old shopping center with rows upon rows of boxes that are unmarked upon the aisles, mannequins that man the various cashier stands, for all intents and purposes, like almost porcelain white superstore that just has nobody in it except the occasional giggles and laughs coming from the far end of the store.
Wall takes out his notepad and makes a little note to himself. "Dear diary, feels kind of like an act break."
Yeah, that's fair. And as you guys take a look at this place, you realize that you found some new undisturbed section of the deepest corridor with your new companion in tow. And who knows where the journey will take us from here on out in our quest to save Ryder and get him reunited with Twillo, his mom, and also figure out a whole bunch of other things that we're caught in the middle of. So I think that'll be our session for the night.
Wow.
Well, that was beautiful. Thank you so much, Braden. I can't wait until we continue that story with you very soon.
Yes.
Yeah, like next week or something.
Wait, I'm not Chad Flips anymore.
Yeah.
I can't stop.
Please don't. Please don't stop.
No, I have to. It's in my contract. So.
Yeah.
But before we start wrapping up, Bryn, do you want to like plug anything? Did you you said you like are kind of doing this as a business or?
Yeah. So I am a professional game master. I spend a lot of my time online working with clients that are interested in picking up D&D, looking for consistency in their games. I've introduced a lot of people to a lot of different games, so I style myself as the tabletop tutor. If you're at all somebody that's interested in learning about how I run games, want tips and advice on how you build your own campaigns, or are just looking for like a GM that, you know, can run a game for your group, I'm available. I have a start playing games profile that I'm sure can be linked in or what have you. And then, I don't know, my Instagram socials will pop up here now.
We'll figure it out. Kelly, if I could
We'll
just
figure it
jump
out.
in real quick.
Yeah. Well, that's a David problem.
You know, I've also been called the tabletop tutor, but for a different reason.
Wow.
Kelly, can I jump in real quick?
Yeah, you can jump in real quick.
Oh, the
I
producer.
just want to reiterate for anyone who doesn't, who I didn't already see how amazing of a GM Braden is, but we've utilized Braden in a professional capacity in the past, and he is every bit as good. Excuse me.
Every good.
Every good.
I stand by that. He is every
He is
good.
every good.
Mm.
He's every bit as good as what you've seen tonight. So just want to make sure that we really drive that point home from somebody who has absolutely nothing to gain from, and quite a lot to lose, actually, of Braden getting more professional GMing work.
Wow.
Yeah, that's my stuff.
Can I get a third plug? I keep talking.
I will give you my plug as well. Yeah, I don't need it. You can have my plug.
What? Amazing. Okay. So outside of this is like my full-time job, showing up as a guest here. But I do stream outside of this as well, if you didn't know. And it is video games. So if you're looking to waste time, watch a lot of virtual violence, hang out with, I'm pretty sure we're all pretty queer. So if that's something you're interested in, I stream at Private Eye Magpie. We stream 4 times a week, and sometimes it's indie games, and sometimes it's like communal multiplayer games, and most of the time it's really scary, horrific stuff. So no one likes that, so don't come by. That's it.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on. And Nicole, I know you and I have nothing to plug. We're not allowed to anyway.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I
sorry
was
about
gonna
that.
plug this show, but I can't now, so no one's gonna.
Yeah,
hear about
that's
this
gonna
show
be tough.
now, so
Yeah,
that's
you gave me both
disappointing.
your plugs. Yeah.
We'll have to sort that. We'll have to sort out advertising your own show next week. But for now, can I suggest we leave on an anecdote?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's pull up to the campfire and hear what story Kelly has to say.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
just the other day, I actually went into I walked into a bar for like the first time really since
Scary. Yeah.
before it became weird to walk into bars. And, you know, I was like, I wonder if it's going to feel different in here. And it did feel different because when I went up, there was 2 things that were really different when I went to go order my drink. One was that, like, as I walked up, I could see there was like, you know, a big schwack of bananas on sitting on the bar, and they were holding down like a Playboy. And then I could see further down there was another one, and it turned out that one was covering a Hustler. And I was asking like the bartender, like, what is with these arrangements? And the guy said, "Oh, we just like to keep our porn under bunches."
We got him.
Well, anyway, thank you all for
got him.
thank you all for tuning into Born Under Punches. And yeah, David, play the outro.
Nicole looked in pain.